Good day, everybody, and this is my first toy review. And today we will be reviewing the Centurions toys. All right, it's a cartoon from the 1980s, and we will be unpacking this toy set, and then we will be reviewing it. Actually, just for your information, this is not the vintage toy set, but rather the one that was made by Ramen Toys, okay, which was released just this year, 2022, okay, and I bought my set particularly via DDC PPP online toy shop, and you can find them online on Shopee or on Lazada. And I got this this set via Shopee. So it's a little pricey, but let's check if it's really worth it. All right. So we'll be opening it now in a few minutes, and then we will check it out. All right. A little dent in here, but I hope it doesn't really affect the entire quality of the toy set inside. So now we are actually opening it. Last one. Okay, it's the box, and here we go. Maybe I should do it the other way around. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There you go. This will be okay. So DDC PPP Collectible Toys says thank you. So you can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Shopee, and Lazada by typing DDC PPP online. 1, 2, 3. All right, there you are. This is the 80's Commanders version 80's 3-pack version 80's by Ramen Toy, and then as you can see, it's a direct homage to the Centurions cartoons, and let's open it. There you go. All right. So there we are. Wow, that's a nice packaging. The first version was released very early this year, and they don't really look like the original 80s Centurions, but rather a close homage, wherein the figures were more rugged and desaturated and less colorful. But this one pays really close attention to the details of the 80s cartoon, which was very popular at the time. It had 2 seasons. If I'm correct, it had like 60 plus episodes, and yeah, I always watched that cartoon when I was a kid. I had that set also myself of that Centurions toys. And now we're getting the modern version, which was released this year, just a few months ago via Ramen Toys. So here he is. This is Max Ray. This is Ace McCloud and Jake Rockwell of the Centurions. And now we will look at the back art at the back, and look at that. It's really awesome looking. They look very dynamic here, and illustrations by Roberto Gabriel Garcia. So item 80C04, hashtag 80C04, 80's Commanders version 80's 3-pack, and it's a little pricey, but let's see if it's really worth the price. Okay, we have officially remove the seal of this toy, and I'm opening it very, very gently now, and let's hope that the toys do live up to the hype. So I'm removing it from its box. Let's do it. Whoa. There you go. Here's the box. It's got some silver designs inside. Here they are in their glorious state. Okay, it's Max Ray, Ace McCloud, and Jake Rockwell, and then all the accessories are at the back. And just by the looks of it, they really resemble the look of the original 80s cartoons and the toy line itself during the 80s. A tad bit smaller. I think the 80s version is like 7 inches more or so. This one would just come around like 6 inches or something. Well, anyway, I want to look at it forever, but we're not gonna waste some time, and we're gonna open this set mat right now. All right, there you go. Here are the 3 Centurions, and these are the accessories, and boy do they look great. Let us remove them from this package very slowly. All right, and let's see how they smell. Wow, they smell like plastic from the factory, and boy do they look great. Max Ray, Ace McCloud, and Jake Rockwell, all of them holding their masks. Okay, I'm gonna remove them one by one. So here's Max Ray with his trusty helmet. I mean, how awesome could that be? How awesome could it get? Look at that. It's the helmet. It really looks like the cartoon counterpart. They really were very detailed. And then we're gonna get Ace McCloud. All right, look at the helmet. Right, it's awesome. I don't know if you guys could see it, but that's rad. The first versions that were released early this year, 80's Commanders version 1, didn't look so much like the cartoons, but they were like more of like a modern version of it. But this one really resembles the cartoons. All right, so he's doing the salute sign, and let's go over the last one, who is Jake Rockwell. Oops, there you go. There goes Jake Rockwell, and look at the helmet. Wow, check out the detail on that. That's really awesome. They're not the original toys for sure. They don't have the same feel. There's a weightiness to the original figures, which are more the ones the original toys are bulkier, heavier, and feel more 80s. But this one's like a modern version of them. So now let's check out Max Ray, and if you can see, the paint job is quite detailed, and I like how they were so detailed with everything, even with the mustache. It's like a crossover between Tom Selleck, of which I believe this character was based on, was a popular actor back in the 80s. So it's a crossover between Tom Selleck and perhaps Freddie Mercury. And there you look at it. Look at that. Turn his head. Look at that paint job, and look at this, the details at the back. It's just awesome. And then you could, all right, and there you go. Let's see if we could do the Power Xtreme pose. Yep, seems like you can do it. Soft rubbery plastic. I mean, you know, it's hard, but quite bendable enough that you can actually move them. And then here's Ace McCloud with his hand salute sign. Then let's see, If you could also do the Power Extreme pose. Check out that face. I think he has a shorter haircut here compared to the cartoon counterpart, but still, you know, he looks more like the cartoon. There you go. Do the Power Extreme pose. Not too shabby. And last but not least, now look at that. I think for the Centurions, Jake Rockwell has the most cartoon accurate head sculpt. Look at that. Looks like he popped out of the cartoon. Looks awesome. The paint job is pristine. And let's see if we could also do the Power Extreme pose. And what do you know? Can do it. And there you go. It's Man and Machine Power Extreme. And I'm gonna arrange it a little bit. Now we have the Centurions ready to go with their equipment. These are the equipments. In the cartoon, they would call them their headquarters, which is a spaceship located in space, and then their friend will send down these equipments a la Star Trek. They're gonna teleport these equipments and place it on these little holes right there. And as you can see, there are also different hands for each toy. This one for Max Ray, one for Ace McCloud and Jake Rockwell. And we're gonna remove all of the equipment, and then slowly but surely we will dress them up. Let's go for my favorite one. I think I believe, and I'm fully convinced that of all the three, Max Ray is definitely my favorite. So we're gonna dress him up. So originally, the 80's toys, you put this little thing right here, and let's see if it will stick right in quite easily. Oh, there you go. Wow, really felt great, you know. But first, before we do that, let's check out the articulation. Okay, so first with the hands. There you go. There's a hand swivel. It's moving quite snug right there. And then with the head, let's go left, right, rotates all the way, goes up and down. Okay, it's nice. It's got a nice paint job. That's a hip swivel. I'm not so sure if there's no ab crunch. And then there's a double joint right there on the feet. Very nice. That. There's a ankle swivel. You can move the ankles like that. Very nice. Also with the hands, there's like a double. They call this joint. It's for the elbow, which is nice. Make more dynamic movements. And look at this, like about ready to just punch somebody in space. So yeah, let's go. This one's some nice rubber, very bendable, but not too soft. But the best that if I would just be careful with these toys. So okay, let's dress him up. Man and Machine Power Extreme. Okay, yeah, I just said the magic word. So let's put it here. Just like how we did it with the 80's toys, right there. And then this turbine engines, I don't know what you call them. Put them right here on the foot, on their, legs, on Max Ray's legs. Go. Yeah, it's nice. It feels nice that you're assembling them this way, but there's a different feel when you assemble the actual 80's toys. There's something about assembling the actual 80's line makes you feel like a kid again. And this one usually goes here. That's how it was with the 80's toys. And then this one, you put it right here on his right hand, nice and snug. And then this one would go here in the center of his chest. In the 80's toys, there was a little gimmick over here. When you turn this one, the missile here would just fly off right at spring, the spring action. Like when you do that, it goes poof like that. But this one doesn't have that, but it's okay. We're not complaining. It's all good. And with the helmet, with the 80's toys, you usually just pop it in right there. But this one, it's not like that. You have to remove it like that in the middle, and you have to be very careful that you won't destroy that, because it looks pretty brittle. And then you will insert the helmet like so on the face, and you have to be very careful right here. There. Okay. The early version of these toys, made by Ramen Toys, I remember it comes with a separate head, which is like a bald head, and because it wouldn't fit the original head sculpts. But this one, with all the modifications and the improvements made, they were able to fix it. And there you go. That's Max Ray with his gear. He is a underwater specialist. So that's Max Ray with his basic gear. It really looks like the 80's toys, but if I have to be very honest, nothing beats the feel of assembling the originals. All right, and I used to have all of them, and hopefully enough, we'll get to complete them again sometime soon. Now let's go for Ace McCloud. Okay, and it's got nice sockets right here. They really look like the ones in the cartoon. They're more cartoon accurate in terms of body type, but they're not like the original toys wherein each of them have a different design with their suits. This one, they're all from the same body sculpt with different paint jobs. But this set is more cartoon accurate when it comes to the colors. They really maintain the bright coloring of the cartoons. Anyway, let's assemble this one. This is this jetpack. Also goes up and down like the vintage toy. And then it's got a little machine gun over there. Let's see if it will pop in. It's got 4 little stuff right there. Just stick it right there. Let's see if it will fit. All right, not too bad. And then you're gonna put his jet engines right here. One here too. There you go. Put right here, man and machine, powered Xtreme. Like so. And then you put these 2 missiles right on his hands. Hooky jokers. And then with the helmet, which is very cartoon accurate, you remove it like so. It's only got 2 knobs. Gotta be very careful with this. Boom, right there. And that's Ace McCloud for you. He looks awesome right there, guys. They really look like the cartoons right now, but I mean, again, I'd like to say that, you know, nothing beats the original vintage toys. There's a different feel to them. This one's more for adults like us who grew up in the 80s and 90s. Gives you that nice feeling of nostalgia. Now we go to Jake Rockwell. You go, Land Specialist. Uh, for Max Ray and Ace McLeod, the backpacks got only 4 little dots. This one's got 5. Let's stick. Yep, it does. There you go. Nice and easy. This one really looks closest to the cartoon. And then it's got the missile launcher. With the original, it's got a springboard action. It's like spring action, like when you press something here, this will just like poof, fly like that. Straight right at you. Just kidding. But for this one, seems like it's not that way. And then with the cartoons, you usually put it here. Nice and snug. I like how they made the eyes for the 3 toys really shiny. So when the light hits their eyes, like a little shimmer in their eyes. It's like you're looking at real eyes. The vintage toys from the 80s do not have, particularly with Jake Rockwell, he doesn't have this antenna. In the modern version by Ramen Toy, it's got an antenna. And then there's this Gatling gun, which you can put it here right in the middle. Let me put it in there. There you go. And with the toy, usually if you twist it like this with the vintage one, the missile right here will fly off with a spring action. For this one, not so much, but I am not complaining at all. I like what they did with the searchlight, wherein they were quite accurate in terms of detail. Like they really took their time to really make it look like a searchlight, and then you just pop it right in here. Now I have to be very careful because I've got very heavy hands, so it's quite limited. And you put it right there, because that's how it looks like in the cartoons. With this one, stick it in like that, and together you got the Centurions Man and Machine Power Xtreme. I like how they look. Is it worth the price? I mean, from this time that I bought it, which was around July 2022, got it for around 12,000 pesos. Is it worth it? In terms of nostalgia and in terms of for collection's sake, perhaps. But if we would be realistic, at best, most expensive, they look like you can have them for everything for like probably around 6,000 pesos, or yeah, 2,000 for each. But I'm not complaining. It's like 4,000 each right now. But what you're buying here is I guess the value of nostalgia, I suppose. If you don't have the original vintage toys, this is the next best thing. And what you can do with these toys that you can't do with the vintage ones is that you can pose them in ways that are very dynamic. So let's try Max Ray first. There you go. Pose him. And with Ace McLeod, you can also do the same. This is how it looks like when he's flying. Like, look, check that out. Woohoo! That looks awesome. Yeah! That's awesome. And then with Jake Rockwell, gung-ho pose, as if like he's really ready to knock out some drones from Doc Terror and Hacker. Alright, so yeah, in terms of posability, I guess this is what makes it stand out compared to the original toys. And I'm not complaining. This one, these lineup or this set. Oh, it's really awesome. So there you go, guys. That's my review for the 80's Commanders 80's version by Ramen Toy. I think it's quite reasonable for Ramen Toy to price it that way because you know, they're not as big as other toy companies who could come up with big and mass production type of making toys. They have a limited, not really limited, but fewer capabilities of doing mass production. But I'm glad that in this day and age, for someone like me who saw these toys being advertised and demoed overseas, that we can actually have them in their limited edition right here in the Philippines. So again, big shout out to DDC, PPP, Collectors Toys Online, and to Ramen Toy for actually coming up with these toy line. They're not the vintage toys. They're not the vintage toys, but they really bring back that 80's feeling, and they're well represented here with these toy line. So there you go. That's Max Ray, Ace McCloud, and Jake Rockwell. The 80's Commanders 80's version, and I'm just happy and blessed that we're able to acquire these things. So again, thank you for watching my very first toy review. I hope you guys are doing okay, and yeah, I'll see you next time.